Welcome to the 365 Message Center Show, episode 326. Daniel and I are back with a big gap between us. Yeah, we're back in our studios, but we do have a few good messages that we want you to pay attention to. First of all, we have the meeting details for Teams is going to appear in that pre-join screen, and we'll see what other advantages that offers. We have intelligent message translation in Teams, so that if you're in a chat and someone is talking with you in a different language, you'll be able to be part of that conversation with translation. And lastly, OneDrive is offering a new filter to be able to view items in OneDrive as media. So let's take a look at that. Episode 326. There we go. Yes. Good.
Yes. We are back. Back again. 365 is back. Tell a friend. Hello, everyone. I was going to say it's nice to be back, but I don't know that that's true. I rather enjoyed doing an episode live together. Well, I mean, it's always live, really, but we were together in the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's kind of a bummer. But,
great, yeah.
You know, we'll just have to power through and give the people what they came for. But, yeah. I need you to come to my hemisphere more often. So, if you could do that every week.
No, you get down here. Great. I've done all the traveling. Okay. It's your turn.
Listen. If someone wants to sponsor the show, and their criteria is you have to be in person, you have to be together for the episodes, I'd say, got it. You just pay for the traveling and it'll happen. It will.
Yep, definitely. No, it was good to be able to record that episode in real time with the energy that we had. Being on campus as well, it was a good experience to have quite a lively background as people are walking on past, getting on with Microsoft Live. Lovely.
Microsoft Life. That sounds like a magazine. It may even be one, but everyone, right now, stop what you're doing. Hit the thumbs up on the video. Just go ahead and do it right now. If you're on the audio podcast, go ahead and give us a rating, 5-star rating. Let everybody know. That helps people find the episode. What else could help people find the episode is you just actually copy the URL to this episode and share it out. Throw it into Teams, Viva Engage, create a news item in Viva Connections for your organization, and make it happen. Go ahead and do that. And as well as, on all the socials that matter, of course, right?
Oh, of course. At 365 MCS. Where you can have conversations with us, you can make fun of us, you can say, hey fellas, what about this message? What are your thoughts? And we really enjoy that kind of engagement. So, Daniel, let's get into it because there are some
absolutely
good things to talk about. That first message is yours, and tell us about what's happening here with meetings and Teams.
Well, it's some exciting stuff is what it is. Microsoft Teams, meeting details displayed on pre-join screen, MC746322. That's right. On the pre-join screen, you're going to be able to see information about the meeting rather than it just saying, yep, you're joining something. See, good luck. Godspeed. Hope you enjoy it. Whatever it is. I think this is something that we're all going to get used to and enjoy when it rolls out, because we're going to be able to see the of course, makes sense is the actual meeting title, but we're also going to be able to see the scheduled, like when it's the date and the time, so you can actually see how long is this meeting scheduled to be. And then also how many people have joined. Now, which I think is actually an interesting one because I know some people don't like to join a meeting until other people have joined. You know, they don't want to sit there and look at a blank screen. However, if everyone is like that, then no one will ever join the meeting. Anyway, that was an aside, just encouragement to go ahead and join that meeting. So this is great. This is something that I think is a great improvement. Whatever information we can get on that first screen, so we can know what's going on, because you know, and actually highlights here. This is in the screenshot here. It's showing it's a 30-minute meeting. Well, if you have a calendar in certain views, like week view, whatever, then if they're 30-minute meetings or even 15-minute meetings, they're very tiny. Did I click on the right one? You know, when I double clicked and I went ahead and clicked join, I didn't even look at it. I wasn't even paying attention. I was running late, whatever. It'd be nice to actually see on the meeting screen, oh, it is the right meeting. Or, oops, that's the meeting I just left. So I think this is good. What do you think, Daryl? More information here is good, right?
Yeah, the meeting subject, you do see it in the title of the window. So it has March Sprint Retrospective, and that's what we've had up until recently, right? That's been our experience, and it's a bit subtle if you're not looking to see, oh, was that really the meeting I was supposed to join? So it's good to see that. The other thing is in the screenshot, 2 others have joined. That is information that we see also when we're trying to make our choices around the computer audio. Remember how it mutes you automatically if there's a certain number of people in the meeting already? So interesting that, you know, I wonder if that'll still be down near the audio in addition to this position up in the meeting details.
So it automatically mutes you if there's 5, I think. More than 5? I can't remember the exact number, but you're right. And I would hope it still functions the same, although I want that to happen faster. Just to let you know, I have gotten to the join screen. I'm going. I'm going to click mute because I don't want to go in. But right as I'm clicking, it mutes. And so I click it and it unmutes. And then I click join and I'm like, wait, I'm supposed to join muted. What happened here? So it does take a second to go, oh, there's this many people there. I'm going to unmute you or mute you. So this is rolling out early April 2024, completed by mid-April 2024, and for targeted release. In general availability worldwide, mid-April 2024 to late April 2024. Now, can I pause here? Tell the people, all of our wonderful listeners, we had the wonderful opportunity to meet with the team behind the Message Center and other parts of the Admin Center. And there was a funny story that was told during that meeting. Apparently, back in the day, at some point, I made a joke about there was a date that was in a message saying when it was coming out. And I said, well, they didn't tell us what year, so it could be some other year. And we were told that, hey, they started adding years in because of that joke. So that's awesome. I found that kind of funny and had some impact on the Message Center. That was a pretty interesting story. There was other stories, but I thought that was kind of fun.
No, I like that one. Got to be specific.
Yeah. Anyway, so Daryl, let's switch gears and go right back to Teams.
Sure, why not?
This episode is indeed brought to you by Teams. Just a little bit of inside knowledge. There's only one message not about Teams. So, Daryl, tell us about translation, sir.
Yeah, yep. Microsoft Teams Intelligent Message Translation and Chats on Desktop. This is MC748379. I like or have enjoyed this type of feature in other conversation products and platforms where if someone is joining the conversation, they've replied to something I've posted, or maybe I can see from their content. It's something I'm interested in. I want to be part of that conversation. But we have a difference in language. They might speak Japanese or French or a number of other different languages. And I have appreciated being able to click a translate button, and does a good job, reasonable job. I'm sure that there'd be some problems with accuracy, but it's enough to be able to get by and to have that conversation with people. So it is coming to Microsoft Teams chat on desktops, and this is there's a good example of a screenshot here that shows us what to expect, what it looks like. We know that it's been pieced together. It's not quite. We can't kind of figure out what the reply is, but we have someone called Kaio who is responding to Danielle. Kaio, I believe, is speaking in French, and so Danielle is the person who is reading this message in her chat, and she has the option to translate that message. Just above it, she's got an option to translate on demand, and there's a second option there to never translate French, which I questioned. Oh, why would we have that? But Daniel, you had a good response for that. Why would we have that option?
Oui. Yes, if you speak the language, then maybe you don't want it to translate for you.
Fair enough.
Stop asking. Stop getting in the way. Of course, I don't want you to. Yeah.
Now, there's another screenshot below that which shows or works through some options you have for translation. Let's say that you don't want to have to click the translate button each time, but you want it to just be automatically translated to the language that Teams recognizes you speak. And so with the message in this screenshot, you can use the three dots to get to some of your choices, see the translation options, and you can turn on auto translation. Now, I don't know if this takes effect for just this chat or just this conversation, or whether it is across any chat from that point on. But that's an option you can access from there. And then
I'm gonna guess, Daryl, that it's for everything.
All? Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna guess.
Could be, because that third screenshot is something you can get to within Teams settings. You can get into the translation section, and this also seems to be where you can set the same. What is the message language or translate the message into my native language, which in this case might be English US, or the real English in New Zealand.
The real
English, the real thing. The other option, ask me before translating, or I would suspect that underneath that you've got auto translate as an option. So those are good options to see. They I guess make a conversation more accessible, not so much in the accessibility sense in terms of like contrast or visuals, but that we can communicate with one another across different languages. I think it's great.
Yeah, a couple of things for this, for people that are looking at this message and they click on to view the images, they're going to notice that these are very large images, high res. That was another thing that came out of our meeting with the product team that others had mentioned to them in that meeting was, hey, we'd like higher resolution screenshots and screenshots with nice red boxes around things. Well, there you go. So congratulations, we got them. So they're quite large. One thing I've noticed in Edge, and this has nothing to do with the Message Center other than viewing these images, is that if you hover your mouse over the image, you can hit Control twice, and it brings up the image in a more reasonable size, rather than ginormous if you were to click on it. So just a hint for you Windows users, just hover your mouse over there and click the Control, and it can do that. So I'm in Edge, so it's an Edge feature. Yeah.
This is coming to targeted release early April 2024, complete late April 2024, and general availability worldwide GCC will begin rolling out May 2024 and complete late May 2024. into our third highlight. Yeah, I'd say that. Some good things happening in OneDrive. Go ahead, Daniel.
Absolutely. OneDrive. Media node in OneDrive for web. MC748381. So if you've been using OneDrive Personal for a while, it has a feature that shows you all your images, and it gives you a nice timeline and all this kind of thing to be able to find images, but it displays them nicely for you to view them. And it's just not something we've had on the enterprise side, the for business side, although they don't call it OneDrive for Business anymore. Well, this is bringing an ability to browse your files by, and it's going to be images in OneDrive for web. So being able to find images across all of your files, all of your folders within your OneDrive, and not only that, but also display them in a nice, friendly way, meaning making them fit and show well. If you have a square image, it's going to show a square, and if it's rectangle, it's going to show rectangle. Fitting them in there quite nicely. So I really like this. It's a feature and an aesthetic, right? It's a feature in being able to group all the photos together in the images, but then it's an aesthetic thing of making it look pretty nice when it's displaying it. So that's basically it. I mean, that's the message, but it's, I think, kind of a big deal for me to find all the images. General availability, and it's all over the place. Worldwide, GCC, GCC High, and DoD. Now, so worldwide doesn't include those other ones, I guess? Anyway, we'll begin rolling out early April of this year, 2024, and expect to be complete by late April of this year. So I'm excited for that. Give me my media. Make it easy for me to look at. Daryl, I also want my apps, and I want them pre-pinned.
Where, Daniel?
In meetings.
In meetings, right? Not on like your lapel or whatever. And all right, cool. So yeah, Microsoft Teams pre-pin meeting apps for users, MC748380. Just as we're working through trying to understand this message, it is a little confusing. It's really a action that an admin can take for all meetings, right? When I first read this, I thought, is this about giving a meeting organizer the ability to pin meeting apps so that they're prepared for the meeting in that meeting environment? What do I want to use in my meeting and make available to people for that meeting to facilitate it? But no, this is above this. If you're a organization that might be using a different set of third-party apps, or maybe even some Microsoft apps that you want to make available in the meeting window, then you can pin them as part of an admin action. What I think I'd like to see more detail on is, as we look at this this screenshot, it's suggesting that the apps are well, I don't know, like the app, whether the app is the ReliCloud app. Right, so screenshot, we've got ReliCloud. We know that ReliCloud is another fictitious company that Microsoft uses for demonstrations. Is it that when we pin apps for ReliCloud, or whatever your organization is, that they will appear under a category named after your company, and they will be available as tiles down the right-hand side to launch if needed? Except in the screenshot, it seems to be more about documents rather than anything.
Yeah.
What's your take, Daniel?
Yeah, so two ways. One way is, just what you're describing. There's two ways. One way is if we pin an app called ReliCloud, it would show up there in the bar, and then engaging with that, we would click on it, and the functionality would happen off to the right side, right? Or is it that we pin 3 or 4 apps And if you're using this screenshot as your guide, an app called Project Catalyst, an app called Nova Genesis, an app, right below, and then it all groups them together. And so you click that, and then you select the app you want from the right. Don't know. I'm trying. I read the message. Now there isn't a link off to any sort of more information or more learning, so we don't really know. We can't. We're making guesses here, unfortunately. It says the pinned apps will appear in the meeting app flyout and the meeting tabs next to chat. So with that information, I'm going to make some guesses here, is that that the Rela Cloud there is a central place that is clicking that, and then apps are flying out, off to the right side. I'm guessing though, people, because we don't have the exact details.
I think I am with you on all of those guesses. It sounds like the way that we might use this. And my example that you might be an organization that prefers to use a different whiteboard app like Miro. That might be a reason to pin that, because you've got licenses for that for your organization. You want to make it accessible and easy to use for each meeting. This is rolling out worldwide early April, complete mid-April, and GCC High, DoD will begin rolling out late April, complete in late May. And Daniel, we're sticking with Teams.
Of course. Yeah. Because this episode is brought by
Let's flow
Teams.
right into it.
Yeah. There you go. Microsoft Teams access workflows from the three-dot menu on Shared File, MC750668. This is bringing functionality to access workflow in Teams when there's a file that is in your chat, for instance. Being able to access workflow via the three dot on, next to when there's a file there in chat, and be able to access it and run those flows. So you could do things like, and what's shown in this screenshot is request approval, copy as PDF, which is a workflow to convert it to a PDF. And so, and others, you could develop your own, right? So this, I think, is fantastic. You could develop your own by clicking see all workflows and kind of going through that. So being able to take action on files is a tale as old as time. You know what I think we need to do is start throwing in movie references into episodes, and then whoever puts the time step with the correct movie, wins a prize. Maybe that's what.
Wow.
We do. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
or everyone that comments and identifies it, they all get put into a bucket to draw for a winner. I think that maybe we should do that. So people be listening.
Get a sponsorship from the House of Mouse then if we keep making.
I highly doubt that. Yeah. So for this, what I was about to say, it's a tale as old as time. And no, we haven't started this. So, but if you want to put that in the chat, go for it. The files coming in via email, that was like the first thing that Flow. It used to be Flow. Now it's Power Automate. But that's what one of the first things is when you receive an email from so and so with an attachment. Do this. Go store it in OneDrive. That was like one of the first things they promoted it as. So we've been trying to do that forever, and so bringing that functionality into Teams to be able to say, I want to take this action on this file. I think it's great. I'm really excited about learning how people use this. I'd love to know how people use this. I really enjoy people telling me how they're using this technology and these flows like this, and to get their job done. So anyway,
Do you think it's going to be a personalized list based on the workflows that you choose for yourself? Because you can go and choose, in that diagram it says you can choose see all workflows and go through to the ones that are available to you. What do you think might determine the ones that show in that list initially?
That's a very good question. I don't know.
Of course it is.
I really don't know, because it doesn't give us, again, we don't have a learn more or anything. So it doesn't, we don't have any more information about how do we pin certain ones there. For instance, maybe the ones that are showing up there are the ones we use more often. I really don't know. So this is rolling out for worldwide early May 2024 to mid-May, and then GCC late June to early July. Fantastic. Well, Daryl, it wouldn't be a episode sponsored by Teams if we didn't end the show with a Teams message. So
yeah, let's do that. Yeah, we might even get it sponsored by Copilot as well with this message. Teams Mobile, new citations for Copilot and Teams responses in meetings and calls. MC 662. First of all, what? I've got a Copilot message in my message center. In fact, there's a new category there. If you look in the list and you look down the services list, services and the like, we now have Copilot, Microsoft 365 Copilot there. Cool. My question though is, I'll ask this and then I'll come back to it. Why is it in my tenant? I don't have a subscription of Microsoft 365 Copilot. But anyway, we'll return to that. We'll actually just look at the message and at least tell you about what's great that's coming here. If you're a organization that has Microsoft 365 Copilot, which includes Copilot for Microsoft Teams, then maybe in mobile you might be attending a meeting and you want to maybe trigger off a recap. Hey, Copilot, catch me up with this meeting. I had to spend a couple of minutes trying to find a quiet spot to attend this from my mobile, so catch me up. And so this is something you can do in a Teams meeting with Copilot in Teams. That you trigger it off, it goes through the transcript, that's what it relies on, and it will summarize some of the things that have been discussed. And what we see in the screenshot is something that will be useful in Teams Mobile, that we will have annotations. So that's what's been highlighted. You can see the numbers that it references. Let's say, for example, Kaio has shared some slides and maybe commented on some of the work. So if you want to jump to that point in the transcript to see what was actually said and get that context, you can do so. And that's really helpful to be able to see this within Teams Mobile. But let's return back to the question about this message.
Let's go
Does
back
this
up
mean,
there.
Does this mean that this show is indeed sponsored by Microsoft 365 Copilot and I somehow won this license that appeared in my tenant? What do you think, Daniel?
Congratulations.
Yeah, $600 worth.
My thought was... is that, this is Copilot, and we get a version of Copilot by default, right? It's that,
yeah.
It's not Copilot for Microsoft 365, right? It's the Copilot that allows you to interact with it in chat, for instance, when you go to Bing and it can use some information. It keeps your company data private, but so maybe it's because that is considered something that is a license or a feature that I don't know. But it has nothing to do with this because this is a paid feature. So I don't know. No clue.
Just a targeting issue here, I think, with the messages, but
Maybe.
it's good to actually see even just the content of the message. That it is something good to have those annotations, be able to check over what has been said and where that context is. And it's
Daryl,
just as important to do that in our mobile experience. Yes.
Daryl,
Yes.
It is relevant. I
it's
want to call
relevant.
that out as well, because that is another thing that came up in the meeting with the team.
Yeah.
Was that the relevance bars had disappeared, but they have fixed it. Thank you, team, for doing that. So for me, it says it's medium relevant. I'm not sure why.
This is the message center column relevance.
Yes, relevance. Yep. That's right. It should be, when you're looking at the message, right above the surface. And you can add it as a column, in the views. But so is it? It says it's relevant. Is that because I've used Copilot before? Is it because Copilot in chat, not Copilot for Microsoft 365? Is it because I use Teams? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know why we are seeing that, because neither one of us in these tenants we use here have the Copilot, the paid Copilot.
Yeah, I have it at work, but we're not looking at my admin center for work. And the relevance column, if you hover over the little information bubble beside it, that gives you an explanation of what the column is. It's Microsoft's recommendation based on the potential impact to your organization and the usage of affected services. So we have seen it return, and there are a couple of good examples where relevance is high, such as the new OneDrive feature we talked about with media, or another one we didn't mention, which is around Outlook Mobile and the new in-app contact editor that feature as high relevance. Maybe we should have taken that cue and maybe covered that message, but it's okay. You can figure it out.
You could figure it out, but I figure that it's potential and app usage. So it's not an exact science, and we've had this conversation before. It's not an exact science, but it's just trying to help you, right? You don't rely on this and go, oh, it's low, so I don't need to read it.
Yep.
Well, that's not necessarily true that it's low. It just means, the algorithm doesn't think that you have potential for using this, but maybe you do. So don't ignore things or don't also pay a whole lot of attention to the high ones just because they're high. Pay attention to all of them, friends, and we'll work through this together.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's the last message of the week. That was episode 326. Great to have you with us. But you know what to do. If you did find this valuable and useful, then do share it with friends and colleagues and people in the community and your network of people. We do appreciate the sharing, the engagement, the questions that we have as well. That always enriches what we talk about.
Absolutely, and enriches each other. We are not vain enough or big-headed enough to think that we are the only voices in this. We want to hear your voice, and your voice matters to others as well. So jump in. Love to hear your thoughts. Great comments on last episode. Let's do that again. But thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate it.
All right. So till next week. See you again. Bye for now.